very good evening to you. Thanks for joining us on the Thursday edition of the show. I'm Yemi Adebayo.
Delighted to have you join us to talk sports right here in London. I'm Austin Okonakpan. I see we almost got it right with the red tie tonight. Almost. Something must be going on. Good to be on the show.
All right. Okay, so, of course, tonight, you already set the tone for us. Of course, that nice one-on-one with Anthony Joshua. You were with him at the presser yesterday. And so we're going to be taking some inserts and also getting into the minds of the people around Anthony Joshua as he plans to reclaim his titles. That's talking about boxing. Also, on the show tonight, we'll talk about basketball. The senior men's basketball team, the D-Tigers, they're back in. We'll talk about what they're going to be doing in Rwanda. We'll also talk about nominations. CAF coming with a shortlist for the player of the year, young player of the year. A lot of people have said conspicuously missing is Victor Osimhen. So we'll talk about that as well as we go on. Then we will not forget something happening right at Austin's end, Wimbledon. We'll be talking about that on the show tonight. Rafael Nadal through to the next round. He was made to work hard by Ricardo Berankes. On court now is American teenager Coco Gauff. She is currently playing at Iga Swiatek as well, also cruised to the next round. So we're talking about all of that. Basically, that's the outlook of the show tonight. Austin, let me quickly introduce our partner in the Lagos studio before we get into all the things about boxing that we want to do on the show tonight. Let me quickly introduce Bolu Amoni. Joins us on the show tonight. Greetings to you, Bolu. Thanks for being here tonight.
Good to be again on this lovely, cold Thursday evening. Well, like you rightly said, we saw the list for the CAF. Some weird names, some names. Many Nigerians are aggrieved of some players missing in the list. And we saw, well, not too much of shocking results in the Wimbledon, but at least one of the top guys, Roberto Bautista Agut, is out. And many are still, well, rooting for the young Coco Gauff to go further. When I first saw Novak D eliminated, I was like, how? From where? Then I saw that it's Dennis Novak.
Dennis Novak.
We are still in line for it. So good to be again on this beautiful Thursday evening.
All right. Okay, so let me allow Austin, of course, let me yield the floor to Austin first. Before we get into boxing, let's talk some marathon on the show. The inaugural Abuja marathon set for December.
That's right. So we're getting ready. And the marathons, Nigeria, let's be sincere, hasn't been doing so badly with marathons. We've got quite a number. The Lagos City Marathon, there's one that is done in, they've done one, the Coast City Marathon in Enugu. I know quite a number have been done in Shagamu, Ijebu Ode. This is a good way to, develop this. There's the Okpekpe International marathon also. So this is the inaugural edition that will take place in Abuja. It will take place on December the 17th. And look, for the organizers, it's a good opportunity to get into the mix, contribute to the development of marathons in Nigeria, do the right things. And so at this press conference, they gave, more details. Makes me remember what the Nigerian long-distance run I was talking about the other day on the show. Let's do more of this. Let's get more people to get into marathon for its development in Nigeria. And this is a good one. Let's go get some talking points. When we come back, I'm sure Bolu will have a thing or two to talk about, and then we'll get into boxing.
For registration purpose, Abuja has a very nice topography. So we're looking at plus or minus 15,000 to 20,000 people to run Abuja International Marathon. And I'm happy that you touched on prize money for local runners. I get this feedback all the time, that Nigerians usually don't win the big money when it comes to the full marathon, because the big money for a full marathon is $50,000, right? But what we have also done, because we understand the peculiarity of our system and the need to engage the local athletes, especially elite runners, to encourage them and create a developmental plan for them to do better. So we also have a prize money for the Nigerian elites category. So there's general prize money and there's prize money for Nigerian elites category, so that whoever wins from the Nigerian sector also gets to go home with some good money. And of course, even 45 kilometers, for those who know, this particular project is 42 kilometers, which is, of course, is the full marathon. And then we created a small area for people like us who just want to jog 1 kilometer and walk the rest, to participate in the 5 kilometer fun run. It's not a serious run, it's a fun run. But what we've also done is to put a prize money to that. So even those running the 5 kilometer fun run also gets priced at the end of the day. So we're expecting between 10 to 15,000 runners altogether, more than 60 elite athletes, and of course there's prize money for everybody.
Sounds good. 50 elite runners. Prize money looks good, 60,000 US dollars. And yeah, media is the 5 kilometer fun run. Maybe you or Bolu should register for that, but go there with your medical certificates.
Well, I take a pass on that. This job won't allow me, so I easily take a pass on that. But I'm very sure Bolo has a thing or two to say about that. He was kind of curious about the prize money and some of the other things. So let's just get Bolu's thoughts on all of that. Bolu, it's good we're having things like this, and hopefully we get to see more.
Well, going there would have been, if Austin was around, maybe Austin would have covered, I would have joined them to compete. But since he's not there, I would just go there to cover the event. But I think I like that they were particularly about $50,000 for the overall winner. But I don't know why the only thing we heard about the local winner is a good money. Good money is relative. 100K is good money. 1 million is good money. And 10,000 in dollars may also be good money. But I like that they put up something together. We're always talking about the Lagos City Marathon, the Lagos Women Run. No. And one of the things we always say is others should rise up to the occasion. Federations should rise up. Local government, everybody should rise up and effect what they can do. So now Abuja has also taken the bat. I think a few other states are, if everyone is doing these things, it means if, according to you, they are selecting people in Lagos, select people in your side, let's all come together. There are some people that have what it takes to win these things, but they cannot make it to Lagos. Now they have their chance to compete in Abuja. Like he rightly said, there's at least, even if you can't beat the Kenyans, the Ethiopians, we can also win Nigeria. You can also represent Nigeria. And in things like this are the best ways to select the best. Sometimes the best person, like I said, may not be able to travel to different local governments or states to compete. But when it comes to your home, when it comes to your terrain, you can have the... And the 5 kilometers is not bad. Maybe some of us have the chance of winning. But I think I like the idea. I like the shape. And the fact that they are telling us months ahead of time. So everyone can prepare. Not to have an event next week or 2 weeks is what you're announcing now. Now there's enough time for everyone to prepare and plan well. So kudos to the guys that have put up this event.
All right, kudos to them. Hopefully, we'll get to see more. Also, before we get into the discussion, of course, we have something lined up for viewers. I said earlier that you had a one-on-one with Anthony Joshua. He spoke to you, of course, ahead of that bout with Alexander Usyk. So let's just quickly listen to what he has to say. And, of course, letting people know that he's really eager and willing to get back his titles. So let's listen to Anthony Joshua, then we come back to have discussions around that upcoming fight.
Yeah. Shout out to everyone in Nigeria, sending you blessings and love. I'm sorry I can't be there right now. I'm locked down in training camp. But definitely will see you all soon. Big up Nigeria. We know they carry last.
We know they carry last. AJ, how important is this rematch with Usyk?
Well, it's important. We can't deny it. It's important. It's a tough fight. I'm working hard. A lot to do in these 6 weeks, but God willing, with prayers, everything will work out.
It's all about mentality. Have you tweaked it? Are you ready?
This is what I'm building. It is all about mentality, for sure. The physicality is something that any of us can develop, but it's who's stronger here.
Are you going in there with your Niger power?
100%. That's what's got me here, so I'm not going to get rid of it now. We're going to take it all the way.
After this, what's next?
Let me just focus on this one fight. That's where my focus is.
Did you learn anything from the first fight?
Yeah, a lot, for sure.
What did you take from the first fight that can be useful in the second one?
Split his face open.
All the best, champ. Another Niger shout out.
God bless you. Yeah, Niger, shout out to yourselves. Respect always. And I'll see you all soon. Bless.
Thank you so much. All the best. Proud of you.
God bless you, my brother.
All right. You already know he's proudly Nigerian. That's Anthony Joshua, with, of course, with our own Osino code Akpan. He answered all the questions, and we can only wish for the best as we look forward to that second fight in the installment, Usyk Joshua. All right, Austin, the floor is yours now. Let's have that pre-planned discussion. I mean, guys surrounding Joshua also have what they're thinking, and it will be good to get into their minds as we approach this bout.
Yeah, and if you watch that interview, you could tell I couldn't hide the love I have for Anthony Joshua. He's got a fantastic personality. If it's just his personality, take all the belts in the heavyweight and give it to AJ. He's a fantastic guy, and he loves Nigeria. I had to ask him, are you going in there with your Niger power? And he said 100%. August the 30th in Jeddah, it's been tagged the Rage on the Red Sea. That fight, if you take a look at Usyk, look, I got this close with Usyk, and I can tell he's a dangerous guy. And Anthony Joshua, Robert Garcia, and his team, they know that guy is dangerous. So Anthony Joshua needs to be prepared, particularly mentally, to be able to fight this guy, beat this guy, and get back the belt. I spoke with Eddie Hearn, and Eddie said, look, he just needs to win. Chisara bumped into my camera and said, look, he just needs to knock him off. Everyone wants AJ to win this fight so he can keep his relevance intact. And for me, that's such a pressure, and I like the way he answered the questions. He didn't talk so much, kept his confidence going, said he has learned so much from the first fight. And I love the way he ended it, how you split the guy open. Ben Gray is a boxing promoter. He's right here in London with me. We went together at a press conference yesterday. He's close to the Anthony Joshua camp. Let's bring Ben Gray into the conversation. Ben, good evening. Welcome to Sports Tonight.
Good evening, Austin. Great to be here. Thank you.
Awesome. And each time I have you on this show, I love to let the Nigerian audience know that we gave you a Yoruba name because you love Nigeria so much. What's that Yoruba name again?
It's Bolu.
Bolu, fantastic. We also have a Bolu in the studio in Lagos. Ben, good to have you on the show. Let's get right into it. The Rage on the Red Sea. August the 30th, Anthony Joshua will get into the ring once again with Alexander Usyk. Ben, yesterday, I was just looking at everything happening, and I'm saying, hope Anthony Joshua won't be under pressure to deliver. Do you think so?
I actually think he's under less pressure because people always, when he was champion, everyone was like, what's next for you? And actually, he's got one thing on his mind, and that's revenge. And that's Rage on the Red Sea, August the 20th. He's going to go in there with one thing on his mind. And I actually think he's got a very good chance of doing it.
Yeah. What can make it happen for him?
Well, he's changed up the way he's training. He's changed up some of his team, and he's learned from the mistakes from the last time. So he had too many people in his corner giving too much different advice. So he's reduced the number of trainers. He's got a tactics, a game plan. I spoke with his trainer. I won't give too much away, but I think we can see a more traditional Anthony Joshua, a more aggressive Anthony Joshua, using his size, reach, and power to bring back those belts and rip them.
Yeah, before I hand it over to my colleague in Lagos, Ben, we watched the first fight together last year in September at White Hart Lane, and we said all these things about the quality of Anthony Joshua, and then Usyk gave us that shocker. What do you think Usyk can also bring into this fight? But I don't want to see another shocker.
I think Usyk is a very, very talented boxer. He's probably unique in the heavyweight division, outside of maybe Tyson Fury in terms of boxing skills. But he is actually a cruiserweight. And we saw yesterday, didn't we, Austin, that he's not as big as Anthony Joshua. So Anthony Joshua needs to use that physicality, use those advantages, use that Niger power. And I'm giving him a very good chance.
All right. Ben, thanks once again for joining us. Let me just quickly butt in here. I have an interesting question, and looking ahead to part 2, I'm tempted to go back to, of course, Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury. In the first fight, Tyson Fury sat back, received all the punishment that Deontay had to offer, and a lot of us thought it was going to be like that in part 2. Guess what? We got to part 2 it changed his tactics, and Wilder couldn't throw those punches. Do you see Usyk doing that? We've seen that he could outbox AJ. He did that in part 1. Do you think he's going to rely on that and go with that, or he knows that's what AJ is thinking and probably change it up?
I think that AJ can take his game plan away from him. AJ wanted to play chess with the chess master, but really, he's a drafts guy. He doesn't want to play Usyk's game. So he wants to, in round 5, if you remember, AJ hit Usyk with a body shot and he moved him. Now, that's what he needs to do more of. He needs to be more aggressive. He doesn't want to try and outbox him. You're not going to outbox Usyk. You can beat him up, though, and that's what I'm expecting to see from AJ.
All right, if he goes that way, from AJ, goes all out, can he sustain that for 12 rounds?
No, I don't think he can. I think, actually, I'm thinking it's going to be a mid-round stoppage for AJ. I think you make a very good point. His stamina isn't absolutely 100% in terms of when you're throwing those big shots, it can't be. So I think his best chance of winning is busting Usyk up early doors, and then in the mid-rounds, taking advantage of the damage he's done early on and taking him out of there. Somewhere between 5 and 8 is where I think he will knock him out.
All right, before I get back to Austin, I want to get your thoughts as somebody who has been around, knows boxing a lot. Do you believe those who say that it's hard to defeat a defending champion on points? Because just in case this bout goes all the way, do you think it's easy? You've talked about how difficult it is to outbox Usyk. But in case it gets to that, do you agree with those who say you had better knock a defending champion out than go all the way and expect the judges to give it to you?
Well, that often relates to the fact that the champion defends in his hometown. So whenever he throws a punch, the crowd roar. Whenever the challenger throws a punch, they don't roar. That's not going to be the case. It's going to be in Saudi Arabia, and Saudi Arabia are making great strides in boxing. But it won't be a partisan crowd. So you don't really have to. He's just got to win more rounds than Usyk. He doesn't have to worry about the judges. I don't think it's going to go to the judges, because I think that Usyk would be favourite just by being a naturally better boxer if it goes 12 rounds. But I don't think that you have to worry about knocking the champion out to win it in this case. It will be a level playing field. It won't be any foul play or unfairness there. But AJ's best chance is with KO power.
That's right, because you were there when Derek Chisora bumped into my camera, and he said the same thing. Just knock him off. Can that also have a negative effect if he gets into that fight with that mentality?
It's aggression, but it's assertive aggression. It's not wild aggression. So you need to box him in and fight him, but do it in a smart way, but not just go all out, all guns blazing, looking for a first round knockout, because you walk onto a punch then. But it's got to be effective aggression that busts up Usyk. We saw in the last fight that Usyk's face was badly beaten up, and AJ didn't really throw that many punches. It didn't look like he landed that much, but Usyk was in a pretty bad way afterwards. Now, imagine what AJ can do to him if he starts early and he starts aggressively.
That's right. Final question before I let you go. Yesterday, Carl Froch asked me, Austin, where are you for this fight? I said, here, says Anthony Joshua. Here, says Alexander Usyk. What does your heart and head say for you, Ben?
Heart says Anthony Joshua, head says Anthony Joshua, with the right game plan. And I've got to big you up, Austin. You're the only member of the media from the whole of Africa invited along. That's because you and the guys at Channels are properly supporting boxing and sport in Nigeria. Big yourselves up. You're doing a great job. Let's hope the politicians wake up to the great job that you do. Well done.
That's right. They need to, so we can develop the sport in Nigeria. Thank you so much, Ben Gray, for being on the show, a.k.a. Bolu. We love you and we appreciate you for everything you're doing for the development of boxing in Nigeria. Thank you, Ben.
Thank you.
Awesome. That's it. Boxing promoter Ben Gray right here in London with me. We were together at the press conference to announce the Usyk Joshua rematch. Let's go back to Lagos. There's another Bolu there. Bolu, I want to get you talking, but it seems we need to go on this quick break. So hold your thoughts. I'll come back to you. It's Sports Tonight on Channels Television. Let's go on this quick break. When we come back, we'll still talk Anthony Joshua versus Usyk. I'll get you talking too, so don't go anywhere. Stay.
All right, welcome back. We had an interesting chat with boxing promoter Ben Gray. And of course, you saw Austin's one-on-one with Anthony Joshua. All right, Bolu, stay with me in the Lagos studio. Bolu, you heard everything. You listened to Ben, very optimistic. I'm cautiously optimistic, not just because, you know, we love AJ. I'm a boxing fan. But as strategies go, it's hard to bet against Usyk.
Okay, because you're with me, if it was Austin, I would have to be sure if it's Bolu Ben Gray is talking about or Bolu Money. But I think I'm the one. And I would like to ask Austin how heavy his shoulder was after having that shoulder nudge from Anthony Joshua. But I think the only time I would be scared for AJ ahead of any game, even the last two he lost, I thought he could have won those games, is when he's going to fight, which I've been saying for a long time I don't want. If he's going to fight Tyson Fury, that's straight loss, first fight, second or third fight. But for Usyk, I think he has what it takes. He has the strength, he has the ability, he has the mentality. What happened in the first fight, I don't know. But like Ben has said and many other boxing followers, I think the best way for AJ is to knock out Usyk. Usyk is one of the... most boxers go with one hand behind, one in front, either left or right. But Usyk comes with both hands. He's coming at you, okay, I want to outpoint you. And I think it's almost impossible to outpoint Usyk with it. It's his style. It's what he knows how to do best. So I think the best for AJ is to knock him out. Sacking one of his coaching crew and bringing in a different set, not all of them, means he still want to keep a part of the things he's learnt before and bring in something new. So I think he has what it takes. If you check that first fight, a few times you think he needed to go all out, but he probably withdrew himself a bit. He had a cut for, I think he also got Usyk. So if he goes all out, not all out and lose guard like he did against Andy Ruiz, definitely, I think he has what it takes, but he needs to knock out Usyk. And we don't know the mentality of Usyk as well. The Ukraine war, everything, we don't know how much it has affected him. Usyk can lose this fight, he has nothing to lose. At worst, he will tell you, well, it's 1-1. He can tell you my mind is still not ready because of what's happening in Ukraine. But if AJ should lose this fight, I think that it may not necessarily be the end of his career, but I think it will drop his relevance from where he is right now to a place we don't know. So I think he knows what is at stake. I like what he said to Austin. He knows he wants to win. He's bringing in his Nigerian mentality, and everybody knows the Nigerian mentality is all die and I die. We give everything we can to win it. So I think I go with Ben Gray. My heart and my brain thinks it's going to be Anthony Joshua. I don't think he's going to get down to the wire. I don't think he's going to go on points. I think it's going to be a knockout, which would bring the talk, the love for AJ back. And after that fight, I think everybody will say Anthony Joshua is back. But I don't want him against Tyson Fury. Nah.
I know, but that's what Eddie Hearn said to me, that if he beats Usyk, then we should see Joshua Fury. That's what boxing fans want to see. Deontay Wilder is out of the way now. And that's why in the United Kingdom, it's unthinkable that Joshua will not beat Usyk in Jeddah on August the 30th. And Bolu, you heard it. It's proudly Nigeria. If it's just for the love that Joshua has for Nigeria, I think he should go on to win.
Yeah, he has to. We are backing. Maybe a few of us were like skeptical about Usyk the first fight, but at least now everyone knows what Usyk can offer. We know what he's bringing, but the question is, do we know the new strategy AJ is coming with? To our next end, if AJ brings back all the kind of uppercut, we've seen AJ with double, triple uppercuts in boxing. It's not something you see all the time. We saw what he did against Klitschko. If he brings back that mindset, you know, AJ as an Olympian went for points. AJ as a world-renowned heavyweight boxer went for the kill. If he brings these two together, I think he can do it against Usyk. Again, like I said, we don't know how ready Usyk will be for this fight because all the Ukrainian problems, everything definitely has a way of affecting. It's one of the reasons they have to even postpone till now that it's happening in August. So I think I'm going for all AJ this time around. We know Usyk. We know Usyk is coming to pick points, but AJ just needs to go for the kill, and I think I believe him. If for nothing, the fact that we are backing him as Nigeria brothers, I think he'll do well to win this fight.
All right, a note of caution, though. I asked Ben this, and I'm just saying it as we leave this because we can go on and on. we're talking about this fight with the assumption that Usyk is going to fight AJ with his same strategy he used in game 1. And we've seen what Tyson Fury did to Deontay Wilder. If AJ might just, Usyk might just shock all of us. We think he's going to sit down and AJ will throw those punches. What if he goes on the attack? And you see what happened to Deontay. He just got rattled. Didn't expect that. He's used to charging against people. He's never used to fighting on the defense. You know, and to be honest, I don't think I've ever seen AJ being put on the back foot. So we need to look all of that. So for me, I am cautiously optimistic. But, I mean, being a Nigerian, a boxing lover, and all the things AJ puts us on the map, I want him to win. But, you know... we try to be objective when we talk about these things.
They don't want to hear you say this. They don't want to hear you say you're cautiously optimistic. They're just saying AJ go out there and win. That's what everyone was saying to me yesterday. Austin, he loves Nigeria. Go tell him when you speak to him that he needs to go on to win. I spoke to Angel Fernandez. He's an assistant trainer in AJ's team. And he said, look, this same thing you talked about, that they know that it's all about strategies and tactics. That at the end of the day, it's about mentality. I think Joshua needs to get hungrier. He's a soft guy. It takes love into that ring. He needs to be violent. He needs to get in there looking fierce. Yeah, I had an interview with Usyk and I couldn't look at him in the eye. The guy is dangerous.
I mean, did you see the pictures? Yeah. He wasn't smiling. No. Even AJ looked, AJ is a classic, lovable guy. Usyk wasn't smiling, wasn't ready to shake hands. Floyd Mayweather said something, that's why I've always respected Floyd. He says, champions adapt. You do whatever it takes to win. If it's on points, if it's knockout, if your hand gets broken, whatever happens to you is not an excuse. Just come out there, the winner.
There's an exclusive with Derek Chisora. I will play it tomorrow. He had to say if he needs to die in there, get up again. Do the Fury times 2.
That's an African brother. That's an African brother saying it right there. He said,
look, you see in the report I did, I was trying to say, let's imagine. He said, stop. We are not imagining nothing. He needs to knock him off and win. And that's what everyone is saying in the United Kingdom. If we need to pray. You need to wish him well. Anthony Joshua just needs to beat Usyk on August the 30th.
All right.
And can you guys now see that I'm not big? I stood with Joshua the second time, and I know that I'm not big. That guy is massive. He's huge.
He is. And hopefully, after that second fight, hopefully he'll retain his titles. We could go on and on. Too many angles to this. Like you said, we'll save some for tomorrow. Of course, our viewers should stay tuned for more angles to this AJ Usyk part 2. All right, also let's go to Kigali quickly. Let me allow you do us the honors and talk some basketball.
Yeah, I struggle these days to talk about basketball, particularly as it relates to Nigeria. But we love the fact that our men, they have an opportunity to compete for the qualifiers. We talked about this last week. We said with Cape Verde and Mali, it's a bit tricky. So let me hand it over to Bolu, who is right there. And when Bolu struggles, he gives it to you for the love of the game.
All right, Bolu. Coming up on the screen, matches to be played tomorrow. Of particular interest is the one that involves the Tigers. Nigeria take on Cape Verde, Uganda take on Mali, Congo take on Kenya, Rwanda will take on South Sudan, Central African Republic will be up against Guinea, Egypt will be up against Senegal. Obviously, we're going to start with the Tigers. Well, like some have said, probably not in the right frame of mind, probably not the squad we should have taken to, probably not the coaching crew that should have led us to. But all of that pales into insignificance. You guys just have to go there, get the job done.
Well, one thing, let me pick from one of Austin's regular statements about sitting down and explaining things to us. Is Mike Brown still the coach of the team? We don't know. Is he complete? Because we know he has taken up another job. He left Golden State as assistant to take up a job as the head coach. So is he still with the MBBF? We don't know. So these are the questions we need to answer because people will start assuming. So with coaching crews, I don't think anyone that has followed basketball, at least this saga for a while, will agree that I think everyone will agree that this is one of our worst teams. But again, luckily, we are still top of the team. We are top of the group. Group A, we are, I think, 5 points. So we still have what it takes. And this could be the turn of new things for some of these guys. Part of the questions, the local boys in the team, what are they playing? Yes, a few of them have been playing invitational, but is it good enough to select? But it's a hurriedly put together team. Now that they've cleared us so we can play, let's just gather some names. So don't be surprised if they lose maybe one game of these 3. But like I said earlier, luckily they are top of Group A. Remember, they had the wins in the first round. Now they are playing 3 games this time around. But by the time they'll be playing the next set of games, they'll be stronger, better. But these questions need to be asked. We need to know what the MBBF's plan is. Who are the coaching crew? Who is gone? Who is retired? I remember the last interview with Ikedi Ogu, still talking about he's still giving his best. That he's not retiring yet. If they get to call him, he will play. He's around, he's available. But normally we shouldn't be scared of these guys. But we don't even know the mentality of these players. We don't know how ready they are. We've talked about how AJ is saying, I'm not thinking about any other option. There's no draw. I'm not even thinking about playing a draw. I want to win. That's a mentality. We don't know how ready these guys are. They put up the team. It was last week, Thursday or thereabout, they canceled the ban. It was this week they put up the team and they are playing their first game tomorrow. So we don't know how ready they are mentally. But again, as Nigerians, we always want the team to do well to succeed. Now that there's no hope for the ladies, at least let the men do everything they can to qualify and we'll pick it up from there. So hopefully they get to do well in their first game tomorrow. I think it's by 11 a.m. Nigerian time. So let's see what happens from the first game. From there, they grow into the tournament.
All right.
You see, that's what... remember, this is what we talked about, and now it just looks like let's just go and participate. Mm-hmm. And this is not what we know of Nigerian basketball, particularly in Africa. This is Africa we're talking about, and it's like let's just go and participate. And Bolu and Yemi, don't forget the last Afro basket. Could we beat Cape Verde? We couldn't beat Cape Verde. We couldn't beat Cape Verde. So it tells you, and this is what countries in Africa look at when you play a big team and then suddenly they are looking small in your eyes because they didn't do those things that they need to do before getting on the court. And we're still doing those same things, But now, look, this is what the MBBF will say to themselves. Those that are asking questions, criticizing us, now they will say, finally, we allow the men to go and play. And they think that the problems are gone. The problems aren't gone because they can even go to this, they can begin their campaign tomorrow. We don't want to have bad results, but when they get bad results, we're back to square one because guys, Nigerians just love to win. We just love to win. So when you're in a bad place and then you go for a competition and then you don't win, more problems. I always tell administrators of sports in Nigeria, public relations does not solve problems. It avoids problems. So till this day, we've not heard from the MBBF. I'm in London, guys. Tell me if you've heard from the MBBF.
No.
What have they come to try to engage the public, stakeholders, fans, people who are loyal to basketball development to even say we're sorry for putting basketball in this mess? Because we love the D Tigers and the D Tigress, and any team or individual that goes to represent Nigeria, we wish them well. So we wish the D Tigers all the best. But a problem will remain a problem until it is solved, guys.
Yeah. My position, as you already know, even before all of this, on this show we interviewed a female coach of a male team. I don't remember if it's Kenya or Uganda, and I was asking the lady,
Coach Liz Mills,
list basketball playing nations, and she mentioned 5 countries. I didn't hear Nigeria, so I had to ask her. The best team in Africa. Why are you not mentioning her? And they say yes. You have a star-studded team, but you are not developing the game. So even and the administrators always want us to praise them for what they're doing with the national teams. Let's forget about what is happening on the domestic scene. They explain it away. But even with the national teams, there are a lot of gaps, there are a lot of holes. And so if anybody criticizes the MBBF, it's not because they are haters. It's not because they don't just love your face. No. And it's in this part of the world where when you ask questions, people say you have a motive. And I still don't get it. Even if a person asks probing questions all the time, journalists are doing their job. Answer the question. If you can't, keep your mouth sealed. But to start labeling people as haters, as this, and that is the easy excuse not to answer the questions. And because Nobody has told us anything, like you said. They just want us to go with the flow.
Oh, we've said the Tigers. They should be happy at least. The Tigers, they've gone to Kigali. So Bolu, what's the problem? Are they not going to compete now? You hear me? What's the problem? Are they not competing?
It's sad, really. Really. Let me allow Bolu to say something. I know it's going to be similar vein, but I just hope one day we'll come to this show and we won't have to say all of these things that we're saying.
Austin said a few minutes ago that we couldn't beat Cape Verde. That wasn't our best team, but obviously a better team than what we have now. So if for whatever reason they now lose tomorrow, we start saying criticisms. But are we going back? We talk about drawing board all the time. Is there even any board? Is there a marker to write on that drawing board? No. We need to solve these problems because what happens, like I said to myself, one of the reasons why they decided to ban back then was focus on grassroots, develop. What have we started? At least it can't be done in the space of 6-7 weeks, but at least start something. No statement from hopefully the NBBF president, no statement from NBBF themselves, no statement from everywhere. Then you leave people to imagination, you leave people to assumption. Then when you ask them, why are you here? You are part of the haters of basketball. No, we all love basketball. Yeah. We want it to grow and improve. But are you doing your job? That's $1 million question.
It is. All right, let's move on because we could go on and on. We have to move on. Let's talk about what everybody's been talking about on Twitter. CAF awards. CAF has unveiled 30-man list of nominees for Men's Player of the Year. And if you ask me, everybody seems to agree on one particular name. I won't mention that name, but I'm very sure that's the list. Let me see if I can run through that list. Quite lengthy. Player of the Year nominee for the men: Riyad Mahrez, Bertrand Traore, Blati Toure, Edmond Tapsoba, Amri Anguiza, Carl Toko Ikambi, Vincent Abubakar, Yusuf Bichanga, Frank Kessie, Sebastian Alla, both of them from Ivory Coast, Mohamed El Neni, Mohamed Salah, Mohamed El Shinawi, all of them from Egypt, Musa Barrow, Nabi Keita, Aliou Deng, Amari Traore, Bizuma in that list as well, Ashraf Hakimi, Sofiane Boufal, Yaya Jabrain, Yassine Bounou, Moses Simon. A lot of people surprised with this, but maybe on the strength of his performance at the African Cup of Nations. You have Edouard Mendy, you have Kalilu Koulibaly, you have another Mendy in that team. He plays for, I think he plays for Leicester, Sadio Mane, Salilu Sis, and Ali Malal. So that's the list. Before we go to the young players, let me get Bolu's thoughts. Of course, you know, you can never be totally satisfied, but to you, are these the best players on the continent?
Well, first off, let me help you. The name you can't mention is Sadio Mane. I think to an extent, everyone is agreeing that, but again, people are underrating Mo Salah. I think CAF should change the name of this award. This is not the list for the best players in Africa for the year. It's the list for the best players at the AFCON. Because if it's best players in Africa for the year, because even some of these guys, we don't know the club some of them play for. So yeah. I don't know what CAF... It feels like sometimes CAF do everything UEFA does, they must follow suit. You remember Ballon d'Or, they've changed not for January to December, but summer to summer. Now CAF follows suit, summer to summer. But all these guys, what did they do from the last summer till June? Nothing for many of them there. So it's just on the strength of AFCON. You know, there was a time when it was FIFA World's Best Player. Any year there's a World Cup, they know it is about 60% on World Cup performance. If that's what CAF are doing, let us know. As much as you can criticize the Ballon d'Ors, the FIFA, the best, everything, at least they tell us criteria.
The yardstick.
Now, they just came up with a list and we are seeing some weird, strange names. Even Moses Simon, I don't even think he's top 3 best Nigerian player for the year. So I don't know what they are thinking. I don't know what their criteria is, but I think they got it all wrong. But again, we don't have to do 30 man.
If it's solely for the AFCON, do you agree?
To an extent, you have to agree, at least, if not all, with most of them. Because looking at the Mendy of Leicester City, I can't even remember the last time I saw him play for Leicester City. So I guess I want to believe he's AFCON player of the year. Sometimes we don't have to do 30-man list. Just streamline to your top 5 or top 3 and select your winner. But I think our top 3, so you should have a Mane and a Salah in the top 3. They both led their teams to the final of the AFCON, but Mane won, Salah did. Both of them had superb seasons with Liverpool. So I think the favourite to still win this award is Sadio Mane, then followed by Mo Salah. The rest Mahrez did so well with his club, not so well with the country, but again, it is what it is. It still shows how behind sort of we are in terms of Nigeria.
All right, it does. All right, let's go to Austin quickly before we go on a break. Your thoughts on this list? Have they been able to confuse you or convince you?
They did both, in a way, because some of the names that we expect to be on that list, Bolu, Yemi, whether or not we like it, some of the names we expect to be there, they're right there. I totally agree with Bolu that they picked this list based on what we saw at the AFCON. And before the AFCON, football was very quiet, guys, remember. So that's why it probably was tough. But we know that CAF and this selection, each time it comes out, there must be questions to answer. With Nigeria, it's same old same, tells you once again where we are with our football, particularly in Africa. And when things like this happens, it should make the leadership sit back, ask themselves questions, reflect. Because yes, we have players, but you see, talent alone cannot do it. If you check that list and you see the number of players from North Africa, you just need to just accept it, because the football is developing beyond playing on the field, but they're doing other things that are taking development. So that's what we need to learn from this list. It's just so sad that Nigeria, when you talk about football, there will be a 30-man list and only one player. Let me go on a break.
Definitely. That's what I need to do. I need to go on a break, take a breather. When we come back, we continue with this list, and also the remaining minutes we have, we'll use it to talk about the Grand Slam currently going on. Let's go on that break. Come back for more sports tonight. All right, before we go on to tennis, let's also take out of the way the nominees for the CAF Young Player of the Year. 10 players, 1 Nigerian in the list. Austin took us down memory lane. There were times where in the top 10 you have 5 Nigerians. It doesn't happen like that these days. So you have the guys on your screen: Dongo Katara, Karim Konate, Jesus Owono, James Gomez, Kamaldeen Sulemana, Moriba Karuma, El Bilal Toure, Akinwumi Amo, obviously Nigerian, Papi Metasa, and of course Anibal Medri. All right, so that's the list, and of course they are young players, not too much maybe known about these guys. All right, that's a good place to leave it on the show tonight. But first, I want to thank Bolu for his time. I enjoyed every moment of it. Thanks for being here.
It's all a pleasure being here.
All right. That's the show today. Of course, we do hope that you've enjoyed everything we've been able to bring to you. Still one more edition for the week. That will be tomorrow. And as promised, we have a lot for you, especially talking about Usyk AJ Part 2. All right, so enjoy your night. I'll be here again tomorrow. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Bye-bye now.
Just to let you know, Yemi, if anything happens to Liam Brody or Walter at Wimbledon, will come for you. That's the show in London. I'm Austin Okonakwan. In everything you do, remember, keep talking sports. Bye for now.